200 feet beneath the wheat fields of rural Kansas, there's a 15-story building. No windows, no sky, 9-foot-thick reinforced concrete walls, originally built by the U.S. government to survive a direct nuclear strike. It used to house an Atlas F missile, aimed and ready during the height of the Cold War. Today, it houses something else entirely: a swimming pool with a water slide, a rock climbing wall, a movie theater, a library, a full medical facility, and residents who paid between $1.5 million and $4.5 million each for the privilege of living there. It's called Survival Condo, and it's not an outlier. It's the flagship of an entire industry that's quietly boomed over the last several years, building some of the most expensive real estate on Earth in places most people would never think to look: underground. The same developer behind that Kansas silo is now building a second one nearby, this time pricing individual units between $50 and $60 million each. There's already a waiting list. Across the Atlantic, in the Czech Republic, a company called Optimum has taken the concept even further, building what they themselves describe as an underground palace, complete with a skylight system that simulates full sunrises and sunsets, an indoor garden that blooms year-round, and a swimming pool that could pass for a film set. And in Germany, beneath a 400-foot mountain, a converted Cold War munitions facility called WealthVaultX Europa 1 offers over 227,000 square feet of living space, marketed without irony as a modern-day Noah's Ark. These aren't panic rooms. They're not survivalist basements stocked with canned beans. They're genuinely luxurious, genuinely enormous, and genuinely being bought right now by people who could live absolutely anywhere on the surface of the earth and are choosing not to. In this video, we're going underground, literally, to understand why the world's wealthiest families are quietly investing fortunes into subterranean real estate, what's actually being built down there, and what it says about how billionaires are thinking about the next few decades. Welcome to WealthVaultX. This is the underground dynasty economy, and it's already been built floor by floor beneath your feet. The story of Survival Condo starts with one man, Larry Hall. Larry Hall, a property developer who had previously worked for the U.S. Department of Defense. In 2008, Hall purchased an abandoned Atlas missile silo near Concordia, Kansas, for $300,000, a Cold War relic the government no longer had any use for. What he built inside it over the following years became one of the strangest, most successful case studies in modern luxury real estate. The finished complex spans more than 200,000 square feet, including 43,000 square feet above ground and roughly 3 miles of connecting tunnels. The structure itself is rated to survive a nuclear detonation: 9-foot-thick concrete walls, a hardened protective dome, filtered air and water systems, and enough freeze-dried food supplied per resident to last 5 years without resupply. But walk inside, and it doesn't feel like a bunker. It feels, as one reviewer put it, like a new luxury apartment complex in San Francisco or Manhattan. Stainless steel appliances, full home automation, Wolf brand cooktops, LED lighting throughout. Residents share access to an indoor pool with a water slide, a rock climbing wall, a movie theater, a dog park, an arcade, and 2 full floors of hydroponic gardens growing fresh produce underground, year-round, regardless of season or surface conditions. Units have sold from roughly $1.5 million for a half-floor residence, up to $4.5 million for a full penthouse, plus an ongoing monthly fee, covering utilities and shared amenities. The demand was strong enough that Hall is now developing a second missile silo nearby, with individual units priced between $50 and $60 million each. According to reporting on the project, there's already a waiting list for underground real estate that hasn't finished construction yet. Survival Condo proved the concept. What's happened since it's taken it global? If Survival Condo proved that underground real estate could be luxurious, A company called Optimum, based in the Czech Republic, set out to prove it could be genuinely opulent. Originally conceived during the Soviet era as a security structure, the site has been transformed into what Optimum's own marketing calls an underground palace. And the description isn't much of an exaggeration. The flagship residence, known as Richest, includes an interior garden, where flowers, plants, and trees flourish year-round, kept alive by a sophisticated automatic irrigation system. Overhead, a calibrated skylight system simulates a full daily light cycle. Sunrises, sunsets, seasonal changes, engineered specifically to prevent the psychological toll of living without natural light. The residence also includes a swimming pool described as worthy of a film set, feeable with either fresh or salt water, alongside a fitness room and a home theater. Equipped with live satellite feeds specifically designed to keep residents connected to the surface world during an extended stay. According to the company, living quarters can be customized to accommodate as many guests as a buyer requires, meaning these aren't standardized units but bespoke underground estates built to each client's specifications. Design analysts covering this trend have started using a specific term for it: luxury troglodytism, the idea that the ultra-wealthy are colonizing not just the vertical space of skyscrapers, but the space beneath cities and countryside alike, through monumental basements and armored residences reimagined as instruments of privilege rather than pure survival. What Optimum demonstrates, more clearly than almost any other project in this space, is that the underground luxury market isn't really competing with survivalist bunkers anymore. It's competing with penthouses, private islands, and mountain estates for the exact same class of buyer, with underground positioning itself as simply another category of ultra-luxury real estate. If Optimum represents underground luxury at its most intimate, WealthVaultX Europa 1 represents it at genuinely staggering scale. Built beneath a 400-foot-tall mountain in Germany, the facility was originally constructed as a Cold War-era munitions storage complex, a structure engineered from the outset to survive conditions almost nothing else on the surface could withstand. WealthVaultX has converted it into what the company itself markets, without apparent irony, as a modern-day Noah's Ark, offering over 227,000 square feet of livable space, individually customizable with private pools, home theaters, and full gym facilities for each resident. The scale changes the psychology of the purchase entirely. A single-family bunker, however luxurious, is still fundamentally a solo strategy, one family isolated, waiting out a crisis alone. A facility the size of WealthVaultX Europa 1 functions more like an entire underground town. Multiple wealthy families sharing infrastructure, security, and resources while maintaining fully private individual residences. That community model has become a defining feature of the newest wave of underground developments. Rather than selling isolation, the most successful projects in this space are increasingly selling something closer to an underground country club, private, secure, and self-sufficient, but never lonely. It's worth being honest about the underlying anxiety fueling all of this. These facilities exist because a specific, wealthy buyer base has decided that some combination of geopolitical instability, climate disruption, or technological risk is worth insuring against at almost any price. Whether that instinct is prudent or excessive depends entirely on who you ask. But the money moving into this sector says the buyers aren't hedging cautiously. They're building at a scale that assumes they might genuinely need to live down there, not for a weekend, but for years. The newest project in this space, announced for 2026, reveals exactly where the underground luxury market is heading next. It's called Airy, a $300 million development from a company called Safe, designed as an underground club for 625 members, each with access to a private suite that can be configured as a full residence up to 20,000 square feet. But Airy's positioning marks a genuine shift from everything that came before it. Rather than framing itself primarily around survival, the project is built around an ecosystem of indoor pools, fine dining restaurants, AI-assisted medical centers, and longevity-focused wellness facilities. Design analysts covering the project describe it less as a bunker and more as a therapeutic enclave. One built for a community that imagines survival not as a grim contingency, but as an extension of everyday well-being and longevity culture. That reframing matters because it explains why underground luxury has kept growing even in years without an obvious triggering crisis. It's no longer purely reactive disaster prepping. It's becoming a standing category of ultra-luxury real estate, sold on the same terms as a private island or mountain estate, just built downward instead of outward. The demand pattern backs this up directly. Since the pandemic, a wave of new underground shelter companies has emerged specifically to meet growing interest. And buyers increasingly include names already well known for elaborate personal contingency planning. From tech founders quietly securing land in remote regions, to entrepreneurs publicly discussing multiplanetary survival as a genuine long-term strategy. Underground real estate in 2026 isn't just a shelter from crisis anymore. For a specific class of buyer, it's simply become another address. So what does a 15-story condo, built inside a missile silo, actually teach us about wealth? In 2026, 3 lessons. Lesson 1. Real scarcity beats manufactured scarcity, even underground. There are only so many decommissioned missile silos, only so many Cold War bunkers with walls thick enough to matter. That genuine, physical scarcity is exactly why developers can charge $50 to $60 million for units in structures the government originally built for a fraction of that cost. Lesson 2. The ultra-wealthy increasingly buy infrastructure, not just square footage. What's actually being sold in these projects isn't just space, it's air filtration, food security, community, and medical access, all bundled into a single purchase. That's a fundamentally different product than a traditional luxury home, even one costing many times more. Lesson 3. The framing of underground luxury has quietly shifted from fear to lifestyle. Early bunker projects sold pure survival. The newest developments, like airy, sell wellness, longevity, and community, the same emotional register as a 5-star resort, just repositioned underground. That shift alone tells you this market expects to keep growing, crisis or no crisis. Whether you see all of this as smart, long horizon, risk management, or as a genuinely strange signal about what the world's most informed people quietly expect is coming, the underlying behavior speaks for itself. Somewhere beneath the surface, right now, the world's wealthiest families are building entire lives designed to continue, even if everything above ground stops working. That's worth sitting with, whether or not you ever plan to move underground yourself. If this gave you a new look inside how the ultra-wealthy actually think about the future, subscribe to WealthVaultX. We go inside the vault every week. One question before you go: would you ever choose to live underground permanently, no matter how luxurious it was? Tell us below. This was WealthVaultX.